What's the best boat for you? Whether you're fishing the flats for bonefish or trout, heading offshore trolling for dolphin, or bottom fishing for grouper, Florida Sportsman's Best Boat will provide the information you need to decide which boat is the best boat for you. Florida Sportsman's boating editor and trusted selected experts have traveled to some of Florida's hottest fishing locations to review the latest in outboard technology, as well as run 36 boats in 12 different classes, including flats boats, bay boats, and center consoles. Today on Florida Sportsman's Best Boat, we're taking you to the bonefish and tarpon flats of the Upper Keys. Our host, Dave East, boating editor at Florida Sportsman Magazine, will be joined by Captain Mark Krowka, an Isla Mirada fishing guide with more than 27 years of skiff running, shallow water fishing experience. Dave and Mark will take the class of 18-foot flats boats and put them through their paces. They'll be conducting walkthroughs, test drives, and reviewing key features, all to help you decide if this is the best boat for you.
We're in the Keys for this episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat. I'm your host, Dave East, boating editor of Florida Sportsman Magazine. We're at the beautiful La Siesta Resort in Isla Mirada, Florida. We're going to check out a class of 18-foot flats boats. They've got a great marina that's just minutes away from world-class flats fishing. If fishing the flats is your passion and you've decided that a flats boat is the best boat for you, the next thing you need to do is consider size, because it does matter. The technical poling skiffs might be good for getting you further up onto the flats in the skinny water, but if you've got to cross an open expanse of water or carry a few fishing buddies, you might need a flats boat in the 18-foot range. Normally an 18-foot flats boat has a little more aggressive hull. This is going to allow you to cross choppier water better and with more speed. Another trade-off from going from a smaller boat to a larger boat is they're much longer, more beam, and they're a lot more stable. Many manufacturers take the extra length and the extra beam and they design in more features. You can get dual bait wells, large release wells, a lot more storage. It's just a more comfortable boat all the way around. One feature that every flats boat has got to have is a quality poling platform. With an 18-foot hull length, it's going to be a little harder to pole, but it's a good trade-off in the fact that you get a better ride and you can carry more people and more gear. Another thing I'm seeing in the 18-foot flats boats is they're a lot more versatile. I'm seeing these boats being used with bow-mounted trolling motors, and guys are using them to fish the mangroves for snook, tarpon. They're taking them on the freshwater, Lake Okeechobee, to fish for bass, but yet you can get on your poling platform with the push pole and you can still get up onto that flat for chasing that bonefish. Having shallow water agility, but still able to cross a big expanse of water is what makes an 18-foot flats boat what it is. The three that we chose to show off today are the Spyder, the Sterling, and the Bluewater.
The Sterling 180 TS that has a LOA of 18 feet 3 inches with a 7-foot 4-inch beam, and below the self-bailing cockpit you'll find a 35-gallon fuel tank. The max horsepower of 150 horses gives a 950-pound hull plenty of performance. The Bluewater 180 Pro, with an overall length of 18 feet 1 inch and a beam of 8 foot 1 inch, it has the max horsepower of 150 and the fuel cell holds 38 gallons. The 1,440-pound hull comes in two configurations based on your fishing needs. And finally, the Spyder FX19 that's 19 feet 1 inch long and 6 foot 11 inches wide. Weighing in at only 1,440 pounds and having the capacity to hold 31 gallons of fuel, the 150 horsepower max rating gives their hull design plenty of agility and speed.
A versatile shallow water boat that has a lot of room and a better ride, that best describes a flats boat in the 18-foot range, and this might be the best boat for you. Mark, we're on an 18-foot flats boat We're down in the Keys, a place that I love. We're on the sides of a boat that I love because it's so versatile. We can take this boat, we can chase bonefish, we can get up in the mangroves, we can go for snook, or we can even chase bass on Lake Okeechobee. We can go through some of the features on this boat, and so that way if somebody has decided that an 18-foot flats boat is the best boat for them, let's show them some of the features they need to be looking for in the boat that they choose.
Got great non-skid. If it gets wet, if you're fishing in the rain or high humidity, you're not going to slip and fall. We already got the plug for the electric. Got the pop-up cleat, which is great for quick release. You hook a big fish and undo it, and it's right there. And if you want it flush mounted for a fly line or your cast net rope, or just not to trip over, it's flush with the deck.
The lip you were talking about, I like. If I'm up here fishing, I can feel it with my foot. And so rather than stepping off the boat, or if I'm throwing a cast net, at least I've got something here that kind of tells me, hey, this is the end of the deck. You're gonna put a trolling motor on a boat, and a boat this size, look for a nice flat area to land that trolling motor on. It just makes it really easy.
For more information on the Best Boat series, pick up a copy of our new magazine, Florida Sportsman Best Boat, at newsstands, or visit us on the web at floridasportsman.com.
Up next, Dave and Mark present the Florida Sportsman Seminar Series with a very informative discussion on boat noise while fishing the flats, so stick around. This segment is brought to you by Rodan, precision-guided trolling motors.
Get ultra-precise anchoring with the press of a button. Or hold your ground while flipping critter baits on weed lines for big Florida bass. Or take your trolling motor anchor to the flats to target redfish and trout. Rodan HD GPS anchor and trolling motor is silent, clean, and it's your game changer for freshwater and saltwater.
Let's get back to Dave and Mark with a very informative discussion on boat noise while fishing the flats.
All right, Mark, let's say they've got a 18-foot flats boat. They decided they wanted to get up onto a flat and chase their first bonefish, their first redfish, or whatever. Let's talk a little bit about noise, because I don't think people give that enough emphasis, that you really have to be stealthy and really have to be quiet. I mean, you do this for a living, and so give us a little insight on how important noise is.
You can't underestimate a fish's ability to sense your presence, and noise is a big factor. When you test drive a boat, you have to push pull it. You have to get out and push pull it, and if you can pick the windiest day to do that, that's even better, and you'll get a sense of hull slap on that boat. You want to try to pick a boat, and again, it's hard. It's hard to get an 18-foot boat that is a poling skiff and is noiseless or slap-free. If you can find that, that's a great find, or a minimal amount of noise at the very least, because those fish can hear you coming, and especially trophy bonefish and trophy permit, and redfish as well. Redfish are becoming very sensitive in a lot of the heavily fished areas, and they know what hull slap is. They know what that noise is, and you have to find a boat that has a minimal amount of that for a stealthy presentation and just to get close to some of those fish to get in casting range, especially for the fly anglers.
Yeah, well, a fish doesn't get that big being stupid, so the longer they are in the environment, the more they are aware of it, and they know what an approaching boat sounds like.
Sure, you've heard the term resident fish. Resident means smart.
Right,
And most of the big giants are residents. And if you want a trophy fish, you have to take that into consideration.
Right, one more thing too is the guys that are in the boat, especially if you bring a buddy out and he's kind of new to flats fishing, reaches in, he pulls a fly out of a lid, and well, now you've just cleared the flat.
It's game over. And even if you don't see those fish react to that, they have a sense of awareness that they know there's a foreign noise. Anything that's different in their world is wrong, and you're handicapping yourself. And anybody that shuts the lid immediately is classified as a jabroni. It's over right then and there.
Well, you know, on any boat, I don't care if it's a 35-foot center console or an 18-foot flats boat, storage is key. You've got to have a place to put all your stuff out of the way. You don't want it all laying around in the cockpit. You need a place for your PFDs, your tackle bags, and anything else you bring on board.
The stuff you don't use.
Yeah, exactly. But you bring for no reason whatsoever.
But you have to. Somebody said you have to.
So,
oh yeah, this is great. Look at the finishing underneath this door too. Nice and smooth. You're not going to get any mold or dirt. And got a couple battery boxes here. And the top of the rod tubes. And all the way under here, all the way to the gas tank. Just clean space for everything. You could fit 3-4 life preservers in there, a net, your cushion, everything would fit in here out of the way where it needs to be.
most center consoles in the 18-foot flats class, they've got a seat up here in the front of the console. If we're gonna make a long run, you're driving, this is probably where I'm gonna sit. This is a comfortable place to be. The wind will be in my face. If we're gonna make a long run across the Everglades, this is probably gonna be the best place to sit in the boat. A lot of manufacturers use this seat for a lot of things. This particular one has a cooler, easy access to your drinks. I think that's really a good feature to look for.
I think it's a perfect placement for a cooler. If you have someone in front, they don't have to come all the way to the rear and get in the box back there. They're already right there, and you're halfway there if you're driving. You could just lean over and grab something on the way. I like this. Really like a bait well just forward of the console, because you use a lot of live bait, and if somebody's in the front and they don't want to go all the way to the rear bait well to get something, they're not going to disrupt the spot. They're standing here, they step here and grab a bait, put it on, and they're right back in action. So that's a great placement of a bait well.
One thing we didn't show earlier is I've also got access here for everything under my console. So look at this. Whatever I've got to work on, whether it's a pump, a breaker, a battery switch, a fitting, a connection, everything I need to get to is right there.
You've got all your breakers immediately accessible, your battery switch, another battery's in here, and the back of these switches you could even spray with some metal protectant right when you get your vessel.
We've got lots more to come, so stick around for the rest of this week's Florida Sportsman's Best Boat. This segment is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline 4-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. Legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman's Best Boat. Let's get back to Dave and Mark as they review the console features and layout of our featured 18-foot flats boats.
Mark, I don't have to tell you this. You're a full-time guy down here in the Keys. Console design is so important, yet I talk to so many people that are looking at a new boat, and it's almost secondary when they're looking at the boat is the function of the console.
This is your center of operations. I mean, this is where you're going to spend most of the time in the boat while you're driving. I really like this feature. I like this movable steering wheel. If you want to stand, you can comfortably stand. If you want to have a seat, it's right back in your hands, right here, very comfortable.
This particular console is slanted toward the back, so my feet can go a little bit more forward. I can stand and drive this easily. I don't have to be bent over, but I can sit and it's still at a comfortable angles. I mean, you being a guide, I don't have to tell you, this is where you're going to spend 90% of your time when you're driving this boat. And just little things make a big difference for comfort. So I think when you're looking at any boat, and especially a flats boat, I think console layout and console design is key.
And you're actually bringing the level of your knees down too to get under it. Yeah, that's great. I see the angled surface down here. Perfect. Very comfortable.
Now, underneath the seat, one thing I like is the amount of storage. I mean, this manufacturer left every single usable bit of space accessible for storage. I mean, that's an important thing. Put all your tackle into here. They're using a battery on this side. I understand if you go with a motor that uses oil injection, you can put your oil tank on that side.
Well, he's also taken a step out of this because you don't have to put the cushion up and go into a compartment. You're sitting and you have accessibility. You're saving a step. You can grab a tackle box, you can grab anything from the storage just by moving over and grabbing, or not even moving over.
It's little things like this that really set boats apart and that make a day on the water a lot more enjoyable. All right, if we're gonna make a long run, this is gonna be a comfortable feature to have on any boat is a backrest.
Especially us middle-aged guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's removable.
If it's just the boys, or when you get to that flat and you wanna get serious, now you can turn this into a rear deck that's got a lot of room. We've got a huge live well, and what I like about this, it is in the center of the boat. That way all the weight of that heavy seawater is going to be right here. It's not to either side, so it's not going to make the boat list.
We've got good storage here again, and we have two bait wells. We have the main well in the center, and we've got plumbing for it. We've got a recirc, and we can bring water in from outside. And we have a scoop on the outside that'll put water in while we're running. We have an extra well if you really dump a wad of pilchards in here, or a bunch of mullet, or want to carry 3 or 4 different kinds of bait. Shrimp and crabs, mullet, pinfish. Got room to keep the segregation.
And that well goes way back. So let's say you're going to do some tournament fishing and you wanted to put a big redfish or a big bonefish in there.
Right, right. It's deceiving again. It comes back to 4 or 5 more inches at least. And that gives you 33, 34, 35 inches. Plenty of room. That's our release well and another live bait well. It's got recirc, it's got a pump.
For guys that are doing like tournament fishing, like the redfish circuit or something like that, that's pretty important to have a good recirculating release well, isn't it? Or
right.
Does it make difference in points?
Oh, for sure. You're going to get penalized when your fish die, and also in the bonefish tournaments too.
Right.
It's an extra 100 points, and as you know, a lot of our tournaments are won or lost by just a few points. I like the roundness. There's no corners in here. Your bait, especially where pilchards and mullet and pinfish are concerned, they do so much better when they can swim in a circle. They're just much more comfortable. And I really like this feature on the bottom. This is a screw-in pipe. How many times you got into a spot and this pipe has fallen over, your standpipe falls over, and half of your bait is dead. You haven't circulated them well or lost your water level. And this actually screws in for posi traction. That's a good feature.
And then here you have systems access. And here again, this is something that people really don't give a lot of consideration when they're looking at a brand new boat. But as this boat starts to age, and especially in a saltwater environment, being able to get to all your systems to maintain them, to protect them, and to repair them, that's important.
We've got lots more to come, so stick around for the rest of this week's Florida Sportsman's Best Boat. This segment is brought to you by the best-in-class Evinrude E-Tech 150 horsepower outboard engine.
Evinrude E-Tech has been outperforming 4-stroke engines for years. But what about the latest 150 4-strokes that claim to deliver 2-stroke-like torque? See the proof for yourself. Get your free DVD now and watch how the 2-stroke Evinrude E-Tech 150 outpulls and out-accelerates the 4-stroke competition. See how it wins when it comes to maintenance, ease of winterization, and more. Evinrude E-Tech is the true champion. Go to evinrude150challenge.com and get your free DVD now.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman's Best Boat. Let's get back to Dave and Mark.
Now, any flats boat would not be a flats boat without a poling platform. Let's talk a little bit about the importance of having a good quality poling platform and really what it means to get that extra height.
Well, the height is invaluable. The higher you are, the better you're going to be able to see out. And this tower has nice non-skid on it, and it's got the little rim in the back so you know you're not going to step off. You're going to feel it before you go.
I don't think anyone that has never experienced the difference it makes to fish from here or fish from here. It makes such a big difference in how far you can see down into the water so much better. And then when you get a push pole, the amount of control you've got over the boat. I mean, I'm not having to tell you, you're a guide, you do this for a living. One thing I like, you have 3 steps. So many manufacturers put the step way inside and it's really tough to get up. But this, I have no trouble getting up onto the platform. And here again, an 18-foot boat, it's beamy enough. This is really stable. I could stay up here and pole all day long and be really comfortable.
It's very stable. I'm in the rear standing off to one corner and you're still on a pretty even keel.
Yeah, you're not affecting me at all. Having the extra control that a push pole gives you, I think it's paramount.
Well, it may be even more important than an electric. And for a lot of reasons. You can change direction so quickly, you can pivot on a dime, and of course it's quieter. Some fish down here, especially in the Keys or anywhere in South Florida where fish are nervous. That electric is good, but sometimes you need to be poling in those areas, and you can't find a better place to pole from than right there.
Now, Mark, you're a full-time guide in the Keys. For somebody who's not familiar with what this little stool is up on the front deck, kind of tell us about it.
That's you've heard of the suicide knob on the steering wheel. This is a suicide stand.
Right.
But this one has a nice little lip. It's got the same lip that you alluded to up here, so you know when you're getting towards the edge. And I really like this one because it's mounted on the door. It's mounted on the storage compartment door. And you can get into the storage and not have to undo the turnbuckle to get in there. That's good thinking, good rigging.
Now, going back to this little stool, what's its intended purpose?
It's height. You've got someone, the angler is standing up here looking out, and he's got elevation, and for every inch that he's up higher, he can see several feet further out. It's very important for bonefish, permit, tarpon, reds, snook, anything you're looking for. That's the best vantage point of the boat, except for whoever's in the rear end, who's a little bit higher. But that foot is very important.
Makes a big difference. Height off of the water, you can see further, and then you can also see down deeper into the water column.
Huge difference. Jimmy Albright had an old saying. He said, "Height is sight," and every
Good way to
inch
put it.
you're up is another 10 feet out that you can see.
Man, this is the part about coming to the Keys I hate. It's having to leave. We've had a great time here at La Siesta Resort. We met a couple of island girls. We hung out with some friends. We ate some great food. Oh yeah, we ran some 18-foot flats boats too. Ray, thank you so much for your hospitality. You have a beautiful resort. Tell us more about La Siesta.
Well, Dave, thank you for being here. We enjoyed having you, and yes, we have a great little resort here, and with the pool and the background that we have, the beautiful ocean, our continental breakfast, and all our rooms that we have here. We have wave runners, kayaks, everything here for the family to do, and a beautiful pool. You know, it's the family can really enjoy it, and they don't have to leave. Our rooms have full kitchens, so if you want to go out for dinner, that's fantastic, and maybe some night you want to stay in and just enjoy the tranquil atmosphere of La Siesta Resort.
If you want to experience fishing the crystal clear water of the Keys for bonefish and tarpon with the ability to cross Florida Bay, then an 18-foot flats boat may just be the best boat for you. If you like to fish inshore for snook, redfish, and trout, and a little offshore, be sure to tune in next week as we look at a class of 24-foot bay boats here on the Florida Sportsman Best Boat. For more information on the Best Boat series, pick up a copy of our new magazine, Florida Sportsman Best Boat, at newsstands, or visit us on the web at floridasportsman.com. Camera boat provided by Carolina Skiff.